Good evening, Ma'am Pedro and my friends. My name is Hanseline. Together with my two friends, Faisal and Jetlin, we're presenting our presentation with the topic of analyze, the first step of ADDIE. So, what is analyze? Analyze is the first stage of ADDIE and considered as the goal-setting stage. This phase focuses on student or participants' skill and intelligence to analyze what they have learned and explore. Also, this phase distinguishes between what students or participants already know and what they should know after finishing the course. The purpose of the analyze phase is to identify the probable causes for a performance gap. Next, I'm going to explain of the procedures of analyze phases. They are 1. Validate the performance gap. 2. Determine instructional goals. 3. Analyze learners. 4. Audit available resources. And 5. Recommend potential delivery systems. And 6. Compose a project management plan. First off is validate the performance gap. In this concept, a performance gap must be validated, which the objective of this concept is to generate a purpose statement based on a defined performance gap. Through this concept, instructional designers are requested to develop instruction for knowledge, which people already possess of the skills that makes them can perform. Therefore, the initial step in the instructional design process is to analyze the reasons for a performance gap. That is, a performance assessment reveals reasons or causes for performance gaps. These are samples of this concept, which is called as sample performance discrepancies. 1 is a computer program which operates with a new user interface that installed in the workplace, which results a performance discrepancy exists. Number 2, a hybrid automobile. It has been added to the fleet of vehicles, which makes the auto technician maintaining automobile's material to make the hybrid automobile becomes new. This results a performance discrepancy exists. And the last one is the accounting department. Accounting department have found multiple errors in paychecks, and this exists a performance discrepancy. Next are main staffs. There are 3 main steps for conducting a performance assessment. They are: first one, measure the actual performance. Second, confirm the desired performance. And the last one, number 3, identify the causes for the performance gap. Next, I will explain sample performance assessment. There is a national retail business make a training project for people. It is called the Maintenance Services Division of Big Store. The training request indicates several instances for people in the training project. That is how the team conducted a performance analysis, which they interviewed stakeholders from all levels of the company. There are a total of 80 people participated in the performance analysis, and they finally have surveyed and review of company records, which will be presented in the following performance assessment chart. Next is the purpose statement. The procedure of validating the performance gap is summarized in the purpose statement. The purpose of this method is to state in succinct and explicit in which the instruction will occur. Develop a purpose statement after the person has determined that instruction is a viable option for closing a portion of the performance discrepancy. Also, participants can use guidelines to compose a purpose statement which made by them. Next is about determine instructional goals that will explain by my friend Cherlyn.
Hello, my name is Sherilyn and I'm going to explain about determine instructional goals, confirm the intended audience, and identifying required resources. Starting from determine instructional goals first. Out of all analysis phase, one of the phase is determining target objective of the project and what the instructional goal of does the project focus on.
The objective or aim of instructional goals is to generate goals that respond to performance gaps that are caused by a lack of knowledge and skill. It is not always a lack of knowledge and skill. It could be other causes like resources or lack of motivation. So you should already know the three most common causes of a performance gap, such as lack of resources, lack of motivation, and lack of knowledge and skill. It is all depend on what you focus on or what you want to achieve by the end of your teaching or training programs. And the content of instructional goals should be a goal that is defined as the end toward which all effort is directed. Second one, a description of a broad expectation. The third one, effective goals are the result of a shared decision-making process situated within some context or reflection of some reality, valid and authentic. And the last one, instructional goals describe the terminal tasks that students will perform at the end of the course. Goals infer performance, however, they do not specify the criteria or standards for the performance nor the conditions under which the performance should be demonstrated. Examples of instructional goals there are A. Identify the essential components of guided learning. B. Compose a research report worthy of publication. C. Apply an interactive planning process to the development of learning resources. D. Analyze learning. E. Synthesize a proposal to develop instruction. F. Evaluate learning resources and development processes. You can use Bloom's taxonomy as your references for the instructional goals to decide what are the competence and skills that you need to fulfill for the teaching or training contents. The second part is confirm the intended audience. The objective or aim is identify the abilities, experience, preferences, and motivation of the student audience. You should already know that the purpose of this AD project will be devoted to closing performance gaps caused by a lack of knowledge and skills. And once again, it isn't always about lack of knowledge and skills. It could be lack of resources or lack of motivation. Content, one of the most important tasks that you will complete during the analysis phase is to collect data that assists you in confirming the members of the intended student audience. The data that you collect will impact decisions throughout the remaining AD processes. The types of data include are A. Group identifications. B. General characteristics. C. Numbers of students. D. Location of students. E. Experience levels. F. Student attitudes. And G. Skills that impact potential to succeed in the learning environment. Group identifications. The first step is to identify the group or groups of learners who will become the students, where you certify whether there is one group of learners or there are multiple groups of learners. After you have identified the learner groups, reconfirm that the group who will participate in the training is the same group whose performance you already assess. You may need to reconfirm your performance gap analysis if the learner group is different from the one identified as having a performance gap. General characteristics. Some of the characteristics you should determine include are average age, gender distribution, average level of education, cultural makeup, and language proficiencies. For example, the selection of exercises and examples used in the course may depend on the age of the group. Naming themes after the latest rock groups will not work well with the over 50 crowd, while it may bring a sense of excitement to those under the age of 30. C. Number of students. The number of students should be determined. Consider the total number of students, the number of different audience groups per class, the number of learners per class, especially if such parameters already exist. D. Location of students. The location of the learning environment should be determined. Determine whether the students travel to a central location or whether the teacher travels to the location of the students. E. Experience levels. The experience of the students should be determined relative to the knowledge and skills that will be acquired prior to the development of any instructional materials. It is important to know what the student already knows and can do before she or he engages others within the learning environment. F. Attitudes. It is extremely valuable to discover the attitude of the students who will likely interact with the instructional materials and instructional strategies. It is important to ascertain the current attitude a student may have toward her or his work or school surroundings. It is also prudent or wise to determine the current attitude of a student toward her or his job. Things such as recent promotions or performance reviews may impact a student's current attitude. Even the student's attitude toward various types of learning environments can affect her or his attitude toward the planned instruction. Key skills that impact potential to succeed in the learning environment. Students can improve their skills if they can fully participate in the instructional experience. For example, if the instruction requires students to use Lotus Notes and the students are not fluent in Lotus Notes, the course will have a little chance of success. Therefore, the prerequisite or precondition knowledge and skills the student must have related to the type of delivery should be part of the analyze phase. Use this phase to determine if there are any prerequisite skills the students should have to participate fully in the learning environment, such as specific computer skills or language proficiencies. This is the sample case, and the topic is escalator maintenance. Primary student group. It contains the groups of learners that will be your students or participants. General characteristic. This includes the students or participants' profile, number of students. It contains the totals of students or participants that will join the program. Location of students. It contains where the program will take place. Experience levels. Contains how far is their knowledge or skills. Students' attitudes. Is their behavior or reaction toward the instructional materials or learning environments. And the last one, skills that impact potential in succeed in the learning environment. It contains knowledge or skills that can improve the students or participants and make the learning success. And the last one is about identify required resources. The objective or aim is to identify all types of resources that will be required to complete the entire ED process. So you should already know the purpose of the ED project, the instructional goals, and the general characteristics of the attended students. Content. There are 4 types of resources that should be audited. 1. Content resources. 2. Technology resources. 3. Instructional facilities. And 4. Human resources. Content resources. These resources could then be used as references for content, as references for learning strategies, as part used in the learning environment without alteration, and as part used only for illustration or examples. The second one, technology resources. It is important to evaluate the available technology that is available for the learning environment. As you identify the available technology resources, keep in mind the numbers of computers available, if applicable, and any other electronic devices that will be required for hands-on activities. It is also important to identify non-digital technology that will be required to complete the entire ED process, such as flip cards, writing utensils, dry marker boards, easels, and adhesive notepads. Instructional facilities. Instructional facilities include things such as rooms available per location, the number of rooms required for the duration of the ED process, the number of students that can be accommodated per room, and any peculiar scheduling that should be considered around special times of the day and special dates of the year. For human resources, consider the number of teachers, trainers, and facilitators that will need to be available to fully develop, implement, and evaluate the instruction. Consider the level of expertise each teacher, trainer, and facilitator will bring to the AD process. Identify the need for coaches and managers to provide continuous support throughout the AD process. This is the example. So in short, the content is the learning materials that will be used. The technology is the learning media, and the facilities is the infrastructure that will support the learning, and human is the teachers or experts that will help to teach or train.
That's all from me. The next material will be explained by Faisal.
Good morning, friends. Okay, I will continue the presentation. That the next slide is talking about 4 common resources types. The first resources is content resources. Content resources we could find in the article and in the journal and the book that can support our project, and also in the internet that that is a lot of information that support our project. The second is technology resources. Technology resources is to evaluate the available technology that is available for the learning environment. The third is instructional facilities. Of course, if you want to make a project, facilities can support our project that in the result we have a good result. For example, the room are the students or other examples. And the fourth is human resources. Human resources is to impact the design, development, and also implementation of the learning environmental need to be identified. Okay, let's go to the next slide. It's talking about determine potential delivery system. In the analysis phase, there are 4 potential delivery systems. The first delivery system is physical face-to-face meetings that we also do when we discuss with our friends, and the B is computer-based learning, or computer-based training, and C video, and the D is internet-based learning management systems. Okay, the next slide is talking about 9-step estimation procedure. The first step is identify the delivery options under consideration. The second step is estimate the length of time for each delivery option under consideration. And the third is to compute cost the analyze phase in the project. And the fourth is estimate cost for the design phase. And the fifth is to estimate cost for develop phase. And the sixth to estimate cost for the implement phase. And the seventh is estimates cost for the evaluate phase. And the 8 is to total the estimated costs for the all 5 AD process. And the 9 is provide an estimated cost range. Before we make our project, we have to manage them. There are 2 rules of project management. The first is a project has a beginning, middle, and end. And the second is a project is measured in terms of quality, time, and money. A project has a beginning, middle, and end. It means that, for example, beginning, it means that they have a background or the question that can support our idea. And the middle is contain a theory or other references that can support our project, and an end is part of to evaluate our project that we have done before. And the second is a project is measured in terms of quality, time, and money. It means that we have to make the project effective and also not spend money a lot, and also we have to make our project has quality. The next slide is talking about 4 project phases. There are 4 major project phases. The first is initiation, and the second planning. The third is execution, and the fourth is closure. Initiation means that if we want to make a project, we initiate, or before everybody do the first. And the planning, we arrange the activities that we will do, or other theories that we will to put in our project. And the third is execution. After we arrange the activities that we will do, we have to execute in the field or in the outdoor. For example, if you want to, for example, in the school field experience 1, before that I have arranged the activities that I have to do, and the date and the due date and the date I practice, and I practice and also do the activities that I have arranged. And the fourth is closure. For closure, it means that after we do the project, also we have suggestions or critics or other evaluation to make our project best than before. And the next slide is talking about aspects of a management plan for an AD project. There are 4 management plan for an AD project. The first is core instructional design team members. The second is significant constraints. The third is schedule tasks, and the fourth is final report. The first is core instructional design team members. Is to indicate the skill each person brings to the process. Of course, every single person has their ability to do something. The second is significant constraints, to describe the conditions or capabilities that must be met or possessed by the AD process to satisfy a contract specification or other formally imposed standard. And the third is schedule tasks, and schedule tasks indicates the main tasks and primary deliverables. And the fourth is final report. Final report is to provide a summary of activities during the AD process that I have talking before, that has a beginning, middle, and an end. Okay, the last slide, summary. Summary from this analysis phase is first performance assessment reports, and second a purpose statement. Third is a list of instructional goals, and fourth is student profile, and the fifth list of required resources, and the sixth is potential delivery system, including cost estimates, and the last is project management plan. Okay, that is all from us. If you have any questions, you have type your question in the Pela that on the or the folder that has been provided by Buvero. Thank you for your attention and see you in the meeting.